Welcome to the Unshakeable Talks with me, Katy. This is where we lift the lid on what entrepreneurs are really going through. The struggles, the myths, the mistakes, and the things we've been sold to. This is where we talk about how we balance business and life. This isn't another podcast teaching strategy. This is where we talk about the raw, real truth about female entrepreneurship and what it really means to run a business and life and combine both of them together. Running a business as a woman isn't harder, it's just different. And it's time we talk about this. There is no cap on what we can achieve, because behind every business, there's the stuff no one dares to talk out loud. Welcome to the Unshakeable Talks. Today's episode is what no one says. In today's episode, I like to speak to you about that entrepreneurship quite often feels lonely, but it doesn't really have to be like this. And I'm coming from both angles, because when I started my entrepreneurship, I very much felt alone. It was just me, and I felt really lonely. But nowadays, I make a huge effort to get myself into the room. And the way I do this is I get myself around people who are like-minded, who are walking the same path as me, who have the same journey. And the best way to do this is by attending events and retreats. And I have done this a lot this year, so I thought I'd do a little episode on recapping on why I attend retreats and events and what my big takeaways were from this. So first, I really would like to point out that retreats and events are very different. And when you think about attending them, you really need to get into this with this kind of mindset. You need to understand they are different. So events, in my opinion, are very great for networking. Events are good for you to get yourself into the room, to talk about what you're doing, to almost borrow other people's audiences as well, to kind of get your visibility up. You get to connect with people who are on the same path than you. You can speak about challenges you may have within your business and you felt like you're the only one experiencing them. You also get to tap into other people's crafts and coaching and what they're doing and other people's work. You get to really find your creativity, your ideas, and if you're lucky enough, and I was very lucky this year, you connect with people who actually are attending events to find those connections. And not everyone does. I'm going to be honest about this. So you have to really be quite open-minded and understand that some people just attend events to sell. But a lot of us attend events to really connect with each other. So going to an event is really your first step, I would say. If you want to find people who are like you, and if you want to find a sense of belonging, go to events. That would be my first step, what I would say to you. But that's not to forget retreats. For a lot of people, retreats look like, oh, it's a nice holiday. You had a really great time. I've been this year on 2 retreats, one in Italy in Sorrento and one in Mykonos. And the general response was, oh, aren't you lucky, Katy? You get to go to all of those places. And absolutely, I'm really lucky. But I was also very intentional about this. I've put myself in that lucky position. I've made a choice to invest into myself and invest in those retreats because I really see the value of those retreats. And the biggest difference between events and retreats for me really is that when you go to retreats, you get to connect on a deeper level with people who are attending. And not only this, it's not a holiday you go on with your bestie. It's like you're meeting people and you're spending usually, I would say, an average of 4 days with people who you most likely never met before. People who definitely don't kind of are in your life, generally speaking. So they're strangers. So you're putting yourself into an environment which feels very unsafe, you most likely, well, I certainly felt, you feel like the small fish. You feel like you may feel like you don't really belong there. So you're very out of your comfort zone. And once you're there, you can't just leave. From an event, it's a very short period of time. It's usually like half a day. Some events are day events, but you get to go home after, decompress. And if the event didn't go really well, that's okay. It just wasn't for you. With the retreat, you're almost stuck there for a couple of days. So it really puts you out of your comfort zone. But I mean, I could talk for hours about this, because the beautiful thing is really, once you put yourself into this position and challenge yourself, the expansion you're going to kind of receive is next level. We all go to retreats for strategy, because we think, okay, I need to improve a certain area within my business. For example, I went on a personal branding retreat. And I've been working on my personal brand for the whole year, but I still felt I need this retreat to deepen my knowledge and to really learn even more about my brand. Did I learn something about my brand? Absolutely. But I learned so much more about myself, about the person I am, the person I'm becoming, where my strengths are, where my weaknesses are. And what I really learned on the retreat is that I'm not alone in the way I feel sometimes about business. And there were, like, every retreat I attended, there were so many different women there. You couldn't put a more different bunch of people together, really. And most of them I would have never met in my normal life. But we all had so many things in common. We all feel not big enough to be in certain environments at times. We all feel like we didn't really belong at the retreat. Who are we? Like, why am I going to retreat? We all had this self-doubt. We all weren't sure what step to take for the next level within our business. We all kind of doubted ourselves very much. Every single woman I met was different. Every single woman was amazing at what they're doing, but every single woman didn't really believe very much in themselves. And being around people who go through the same struggle and are like you changes this for you. You leaving every retreat you will be attending, you leave a different person. You leave just a more up-leveled version of yourself. You're more happy about yourself. You feel more capable about taking the next step within your business. And only a retreat will give you this. The events are a great starting point and an absolute must in everyone's calendar. So everyone should attend events. This is what I believe. And I will be making a big effort in 2026 to attend even more events. But if you would ask me to choose between events and retreats, I would say to you very clearly, there is no choice. You should really attend both. If you want to get the maximum out of your personal development, your business development, getting connections, and also expanding your circle with like-minded people, you have to attend both. They challenge you in very, very different ways. And you really have to, in order to evolve and get to your next level, you have to be challenged in different levels. You can't just, for me personally, and that may look different for you, going to an event was a challenge because you be kind of put on the spot. Everyone asks you what you do, and I've always struggled in large environments to say what I do. So that was a challenge in itself, but it was a very calculated challenge because I could leave after the event. So yes, it stretched me, but it didn't stretch me enough. Going to retreats was completely different. I'm going to be really transparent here, and one of the retreats I probably cried more than I cried in the last 12 months. And I felt really stupid in the beginning for crying, but really the support I received from all the women there and just the feeling of what you're thinking and how you're feeling is completely normal, Katy, and we don't think less of you or of what you're doing just because you're getting emotional about it. That was everything for me. And that's really everything I needed to get out of this retreat. I didn't need to get any strategies because I've got them. We all have the strategy. I needed this level of expansion. So I can really only recommend for everyone listening, try to get yourself into the room and around the right people. Have a look at what kind of events are available to yourself. And also make it a really good combination of business strategy kind of minded events and personal development events. So work on your business, but don't forget to work on yourself. Like the work I do is obviously primarily about working on yourself. So don't tell anyone, but I may consider running my own retreat next year. This will be very different to the retreats I attended because they were more focused on the business side. And that's what I exactly needed this year. So really look at what kind of retreats you're attending, what purpose do they serve for yourself, and what hole are you trying to close. I promise you, you will attend for one reason and come out with completely different takeaway, which is the most beautiful thing. But still, don't just sign up to any retreat or to any event. Really be intentional about it. Don't just go to an event because someone you know is going to an event. Because really, you are just moving along with your comfort blanket, so to speak. And the point about all of this is making true connections with people who are like you because they're walking the same path, but people who are not already in your world. That's the most expansive thing about this. So please do yourself a favor and attend events where your friends aren't going to. Take your friend or your business bestie to some of them, absolutely, and I do this as well, but don't take them as your comfort blanket to everything you're attending to. And the same with retreats. Really make sure that you don't just look at the destination or at the villa, how it looks, or at the, afternoon activities they're offering. Go for the value they're really offering and what can that value bring to yourself, to your business, and to your whole development. This is really the biggest advice I can give you. And I want to end this episode on saying a big thank you to the two people I've attended retreats to this year, because they both were very, very different, but on an expansive level, they both were the same. They have expanded me in a way no one else would have been able to. No strategy would have been able to give me what those retreats gave me. The events I've attended in 2025 were 95% really good. Not every event was the best, I'm not going to lie, but that's okay. And just because it wasn't the best for me doesn't mean that this event wasn't good. It just didn't resonate with myself. But again, it really helped me with my personal and business development. And for that, I'm grateful. And I think that's the reason why you must attend events and retreats in 2026 if you want to reach your next level. And on the final note, if you haven't heard already, I'm also planning some fabulous events in 2026. And I actually have a waiting list you can join to join the Unshakeable table. And I would love for you to join the waiting list so I can see you in 2026 and really show you what a good event can do for you and for your growth. If you've been feeling stuck or disconnected from the woman behind your business, this is your sign. The Identity Shakeup is my new free audio, a short, powerful reset to help you to get clear on the person who you've become and the person your business needs next. Head to the link in the show notes to access it today.